Welcome back. Welcome back to Inspired Entrepreneur. Today, we have a special guest, Wojtek Kolodziejczak, a networking specialist who has helped countless people to expand their connection and unlock opportunities. We're going to dive deep into Wojtek's journey and explore not just the traditional how-tos of networking, but also the mindset shifts, tactics, and real-life examples that can help you break through your networking barriers. So, let me help welcome Wojtek onto the stage. Good morning, Wojtek.
Good morning. Great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely love your hats. Wojtek, fun fact, actually. 3 years ago, before I met you, I went on to this networking training of mine, and there's this massive guy, an ex-police officer, and he's also involved in a training I was doing at the time. That was a property training, and he was. We got to chat, and people you might not know, but I'm Polish. So this guy texted me. I know a Polish guy. He's really good. He's very active. He's got this hat. Now, and I'm thinking like, guy with the hat. Cool. Definitely something to remember. And honestly, that's exactly the point when I got to know you. So Wojtek, please introduce yourself.
Yes, you're probably talking about Rob McFun. He's such a great guy. Such a great guy. It's amazing when you recognize in certain community, in the community of your clients, wherever you want to be, wherever you want to be seen. When people recognize you, they have this memory hook around what you do. So they think about your service, your product, about yourself, and they have certain thing. So that's what I've been doing in my business and helping my clients to do. So when they think, oh, I need a lawyer, they think about you. So your clients think about, oh, I need an accountant, I need financial advisor, I need a coach, I need a property advisor. Yes. They think about you. And that's what I've been doing all my life, pretty much. I started as a lawyer in the UK, and then business developer in the legal sector. And people had this memory hook with me and my hat that, oh, I need a lawyer, I need a law firm to help me, I'm going to call Wojtek. Then obviously I dropped my legal career to do business development, and initially for the companies where I worked for, the law firms, and then starting my own business. It was about helping clients get more business, so they have new clients. So all my career was about developing strong brand that shines and that creates this memory hook that your client, like a magnet for clients, for opportunities, for media exposure, that you are recognized authority.
It was made in purpose. I love it. Did you get the idea from somewhere?
I mean, the hat actually wasn't part of the strategy. The hat came a bit later, and it was literally I got a present from my family and friends. Mm-hmm. It was 2 weeks Spanish course in Spain, and then I remember it was a hot summer, and obviously I need to protect this from the sun. So I got myself a straw hat, and at that time I was single, and I remember during this course all the ladies were saying, "Oh, you look good in a hat." So I started wearing hats. I was like, okay, maybe it works. Maybe I will attract more beautiful girls my way. And then
so I like that.
And it worked, obviously, because I found love of my life, not just because of the hat, but then I was more adventurous. And at some point, I had 25 hats.
Do you take this hat to a special romantic, encounters with your lovely wife? Is the hat?
A date without a hat is not a date. So no, I'm joking. Not just.
Shout out to your partner. She's amazing, and she's very special.
Thank you, thank you. And then yeah, it's good to have a super partner like you have as well. But kind of finishing the subject of the hats, it became part of my brand,
Yes.
and it's part of my memory hook. So it's good to think about when you create um, this vision of yourself. Think about uh, not just what do you do to other people, what kind of services, what problems are you solving, but making it easy for other people to remember you. Sometimes it's something to do with your physical features. Sometimes it's about the ways you dress, the ways you behave. So it's all part of kind of memory, uh, just making impact on other people.
So I heard this expression from the people in the marketing. It's called like a top of the mind, because they, someone, so like for example, if I ask you, so tell me about the, mobile phone brand, what first come to your mind?
Um, Samsung for me.
Cool,
Oh,
brilliant. So
in
when you
the,
think
back in
about,
the days, it was Nokia.
yes, yes, when you think about sports shoes, what would it be? Trainers.
Uh, that's interesting. Jordans.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. And when you think about the, sunglasses, what brand comes to your mind first?
Oh, you know what?
Oh, you got hard,
I
you don't
work.
need the sunglasses.
I, Well, I wear glasses, and usually when I have the correction glasses, I have these, clip-on sunglasses. So
Okay, so
I
some
don't,
gadgets.
so I don't use them. So
Yeah, yeah, but basically the point is that when you have a top of the mind, so studies show that people would call would say actually Apple as a top of the mind, then they would say Nike or Reebok, and for the sunglasses they would Ray-Ban, and this is
ah,
what it is, because people have they got really good marketing, and they actually when they create the content, this talks to your emotions, and they appeal to your emotions, how they're going to make your life easier, rather than, oh, this is an amazing phone, whatever. It's about what is going to help you with, and that's the top of the mind. So your hat is definitely my top of the mind. Trust me, if anyone walks up to me in the next 10 years and say, oh, I know this Polish guy with a hat, and I'm like, it's Wojtek. It's Wojtek for sure. So, Wojtek, your journey. We would like to know and get to know the backstory of you. So, can you share a moment in your life that made you realize importance of networking? And have you always been like this, like the person who you are today?
oh no, that's a simple question because now people see me on stage talking to hundreds, thousands of people, or they see me on social media, or when they see me networking, they see confident guy in a hat.
Yes.
But that was not always true. And I had loads of stuff that happened to me in my family, in my childhood, which affected my confidence a lot. So from rich family, we went bankrupt, and I was no longer a cool kid. So I had a problem with acceptance of people around me. But what I didn't know that the biggest thing was self-acceptance. It was like I didn't accept myself. I
Yeah, it's
lost
hard.
I lost identity. So and that obviously, the older I got, I was kind of coming out of my shell. High school studies, because I had supportive people around me, and so that was helping me a lot. And but I remember Wojtek, who in school was afraid to talk in
Hmm.
front of the class, who was ashamed, who was hiding, and then so it took years of personal development, of dealing with all the traumas and practicing to become a confident networker and learning from mentors, from teachers, attending workshops, and then practicing. So first, And then obviously I had great mentors that I could learn from, inspirations like my grandfather, even my father, because they were pretty confident speakers. People loved them, and and I remember my grandfather saying that yes, the most important things in your life are not the money, are the people, and the more quality people you have in your life, the better quality life you're gonna have. So I was brought up in amongst this strategy of losing the fortune of the family. I
Mhm.
was uh, I was brought up in this mindset of how important are people. And then I remember during my studies, obviously, when you come to, like many of us from different ethnic minorities, when we came to UK, you are a new place, new environment, and it's very hard at the beginning. We come with clean slate,
Yes.
no relationships. Everything is new. You can be a bit intimidated, scared, and so it was very hard. And so I remember I was studying at Chester University, and my English was much worse. And we didn't have many foreigners at the law school. So I felt a bit isolated. I felt a bit alone sometimes. I had a couple of friends, but I was struggling with relationships. And and I remember I was pretty good student, but I knew that if I want to succeed with my law career, I need to develop relationships. And with that in mind, I started networking, attending different conferences, awards, and everything. And I started to um, embrace my legal career, but from different aspects, not just academic, but getting all these connections. And it was
Mm.
amazing to get all the first jobs because someone got to know me, like, and trust me, and they gave me a chance. And and then all of a sudden, you don't need to apply with your CV because you already people know you and they can vouch for you. And that's how I got one of the most important jobs in my career, when the owner of one of the partners of the bigger law firms met me in London at the Polish festival, and we connected. He invited me for a coffee, and then I applied for the job, and it was pretty done deal because he wanted to work with me because he knew that I'm a talented business developer, that I'm going to bring money to the law firm
Yes.
because I have because and from then on, every single job I got was through networking, through relationships, and then my
Okay, but
career.
you've gone so far. Like we need to dissect this a little bit more into into detail. So, Wojtek, surely it's not easy to start like you said from the very beginning. Is you were you you as a family you had a status and you lost it to some life events, and how has that changed? How is how that where did you find the motivation to and drive to do what you're doing now? So actually, I want viewers to just understand, like what was it at which point? Because a lot of people just give up, and a lot of people is like, my life is shit. I'm not good enough, and
Mm,
I just don't want, And this is it. So you obviously you mentioned I was not the cool kid anymore.
that's true. That's true. And it's interesting because uh, until recently, I never knew why I wanted to become a lawyer,
Hmm.
and because of the bankruptcy and everything in our family, there was a time in my childhood where I was screaming for attention.
Hmm.
I I wanted to be seen, to be
Hmm.
acknowledged. I wanted to be good enough for my family, for my father, for my grandparents, um, and they were so busy. The divorce of my parents, So I was a bit isolated, and I wasn't getting that attention from my
Hmm.
family, from my friends. So I was alone, and at that time, I realized because I wanted to prove myself. I realized as a grown person that I went to study law to be acknowledged by my family. So they say,
Okay.
well done. So I didn't do it for myself.
Okay,
I
it was
did it.
just it was more of a social approve, because I was doing emotional mastery a few years ago, and you were looking for for a social approval.
That's it. That's
You
it.
needed it. You needed it more than
Yes,
anything
that's true.
anyone else actually asking for it. Was it your parents making you, son, you're not good enough, or was it you setting that bar high?
It was all me. It was all me. And the way I say it, well, they had a lot of things on their mind, so I was a bit
Hmm.
ignored. But I never got any negative statements from my family, or it was all in me, kind of this drive to be seen,
Yeah.
to be good enough for them, or part of it was to restore the legacy of the family. To
Okay, okay. Were you hoping that maybe that's that by you super exceeding anyone else's expectations? Well, actually, these were yours expectations, but in your mind, then at the time, you thought that by doing all of this and absolutely, smash it out the park and being this super, person, were you thinking that maybe the parents will actually, start rethinking, oh, it's a family, maybe we shouldn't actually breaking this apart?
yeah, that was it. I was the driver of it, and I just didn't know why I'm doing it. I was making
Okay.
up I was making up, excuses or explanations, but that was the main thing, pretty much. And it took me years to realize that I'm good enough, no
Yeah.
matter what. I don't need other people's validation to say, "Oh, you're good enough." And that's how important is personal development. How
Hmm.
important is self acceptance, because sometimes we make decisions, we do things, and we don't even know why we're doing them. And sometimes we are slave to our emotions, to things from the past, from our childhood.
Well,
So
actually, it's a good point when you say it's slaves to our emotions, but I totally agree with you here, 100%. But slaves to our emotions is because it's our emotions. So why can't we just flick the switch and say, no, I don't want to be that person anymore? Why this isn't so easy?
mm, yeah, 100%.
So what do you think this is not? Why would you think this isn't easy for us to just flick the switch and say, I don't want to be that depressed, always afraid person? So what do you think stops a lot of people from just flicking the switch?
I mean, sometimes the first thing is they're not aware. They're not aware of all the drivers behind their decisions, behind
Hmm.
their indecision. Because sometimes it's decisions we make, sometimes it's the things that we don't make decisions, so indecision. And so if you're not aware of the problem, you're not gonna find solution. So that's the one thing. And then some people don't know, or they're not aware because of the lack of knowledge. They don't have experience, they don't have supporting, they don't know the other way. So that's why when we grow, if we come out of our comfort zone, we are being exposed to new things, new
Hmm.
environment, new people, and this is the way to grow, actually.
Okay.
And
Yes.
that's why a lot of people, they stay in the same place because of most of their lives they are They want to be around familiar faces, familiar things, because it's easy. And I love the title of this podcast, Uncertainty into Success, because we are afraid of uncertainty. We are
Absolutely.
afraid of new things because we are afraid that we may fail,
Mm.
that something will happen to us. And I think one of the greatest things uh, that um, that 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 was the biggest driver in my life to grow was embracing uncertainty with embracing it with excitement, that I knew that on the other side of this uncertainty there are potential successes, there are potential failures, which are the cradle of new successes, because this is the way you learn, this is the way to grow. And I think that's the thing. And things that I was brought up with, like my in my family, they used to say, uh, remember not to be the smartest person in the room.
Oh, that's very clever. It's very powerful. How did you react to that? How did they teach you, your parents?
I mean, when I was a child, I didn't get it at all. I didn't get it at all. But then when I was growing up, I realized, oh, this is the way. This is the
Mm.
way. And then this was reinforced by the comics I was reading. Have you heard
Oh wow.
about Dragon Ball?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
And
Yeah, it was they throwing the ball like a Pokemon type of thing. Yes.
yes, there were. So you had this famous character, Son Goku, the main character, who
Okay,
was
I don't know him.
collecting Dragon Balls, and in order to grant the wishes and everything. And he was a fighter from the
Yeah.
young one. And kind of to cut it short, basically the whole series. The main character is fighting new opponents,
Okay.
uh, and every time he wins a battle, he wins a fight, he wins a
Yeah.
tournament. He's looking for someone stronger. He's kind of like, okay, I'm not done yet. I'm getting stronger. Who is the next one? Where is the next challenge? And he's embracing failure, and it was such an inspiration for me. So that's
Okay.
why, like,
It
people
wasn't in a
people look.
cocky way, like yeah, I just got this guy. Who's next? It wasn't in that.
No. It was basically with this excitement. Okay, great. I won. I respect that. And what's
Mm-hmm.
next? I'm looking for the way to grow. And it's amazing how these little things can change your mindset.
Yes.
So most of my life, and I'm still like that. I'm kind of like, okay, I've learned this. Where I can learn, where I can put myself in a very uncomfortable position, where I can probably fail, flat on my face, just to get back. Okay, let's go, move on.
Okay, I see the point, but yeah, that's wow, powerful. Dragon Ball, so always looking for a next challenge, kind of like that's what story tells, and they're always looking for for a bigger challenge. But you said something super clever about these, no, never be. How do you understand the concept of not being the smartest in the room? How would you explain that to people?
Well, because when you have smarter people around you, that's the way to grow. It's like in fighting, you have stronger opponent from whom you can learn. You can learn
Mm,
about yourself, you can improve your skills. So when it comes to kind of the knowledge thing, or people kind of, it, and it was really cool kind of in my entrepreneurial career, where I was at the beginning, I was around employees like me, professionals. I was working for a law firm. Then I got I was around community of entrepreneurs, and
Yes.
I was employed, and I realized how all these people affected me. So when I decided to start my own business, the big influence was of the community, of other entrepreneurs. And then when I started my business, then around me were entrepreneurs way ahead of me.
Mm.
So they helped me to grow. Then I was around people employing staff. So this got me to a stage where I employed people and I have team of people. I'm not just solopreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
So the whole concept is basically don't be the smartest person, because this is where you stop growing. And I know a
Yeah.
lot of people who have better talent than me.
So
They
I,
they were so ahead of me, and because they stagnated, because sometimes we want to stay the smartest person in the room, because this is uh, polishing our ego, kind of like
let me tell you
ah.
something. So, learn from my own mistakes and my own experiences. I was going to these, bigger than me events or training center, training modules, schools, whatever, and I was like, I was sitting on the needles almost, like, because I've learned something, and I'm like, this is my time. This is my time to shine. I was waiting for a moment to. So there was two actually occasions. I was waiting for a moment to go to just share something I've learned, and just it was always an imposter syndrome. I always wanted to just share something I've learned with other people. I always had this strong urge of sharing, and but that was seen like I wanted to be smart person in the room. I didn't understand the concept of wisdom learning from other people when you listen rather than when you're speaking. And I was like always my hand up. Sometimes there was a content that was good. Sometimes there was a content that was like, okay, so someone asked the question. I'm like, shit, I'm in trouble now because I don't know anything else, anything more than beyond what I've just read or learned about something. So yes, what advice would you give to people who are like I used to be, eager, impatient, and wanted to make a mark for themselves, because this is directly impacting their presence and networking. So they're just join a new group of people and learning about something, experiencing and whatever. And now they got this imposter syndrome, but they want to be a part of it. They don't want to be left out. So this is for people who already found a little courage to wanting to speak and actually raise their hand. So what advice would you give it?
Oh, it's basically when they're a new community,
Yep.
they already way ahead of others, because they
Yes.
took the step. They took the step. It takes courage to embrace new place, new community. So they should respect themselves for making this decision, for kind of stepping into kind of uncertainty. So well
Mm-hmm.
done. That's first. Respect yourself for doing that, and embracing new people, getting to know them. Think about this impact you make on other people. How do they remember you? And then so you're already making strides in a new community, and in every community it's more likely you will find people who have more experience, and there will be people who have less experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there is all we all have different experiences, we have different knowledge. There is always something that people can learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the important things when people have imposter syndrome is to realize that there are people who are a couple of steps behind you, and they can learn from you. And even though you're not the top expert at this stage, sometimes people want to learn from someone who is only a couple of steps ahead of them.
All right, so it's not like a guru. So it's not like, for example, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
I would say he's pretty much really high up there, or for me, yes. And
Yeah.
so actually,
And,
the concept is that you easier learn from someone who's doing what you want to do, but he's not he's not an expert. He doesn't call himself an expert. Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, that person's got something crucial, knowledge, experience, but it's not detached from reality of the people who are below, so to speak, because he was there, he experienced that, so he can understand that. You see, and so that's why. And then obviously, when people grow, then at some point they will be ready for someone like Tony Robbins. But before, there are other people they can learn from. And if you're the person that can do the teaching, it's important to realize, don't focus on the fact that there are people who know more or they have more experience, they are better coaches, better lawyers, better professionals. Focus on the fact that there are other people who are behind and they can learn from you.
So,
and it's not about you, it's about them. So that's a crucial bit. You're taking away your ego. You're thinking about the need of the people who can learn from you.
Okay.
And this is the key.
Well, okay. So having that in mind is, learning from other people. Well, definitely, 100%. And concept of, the bad concept or negative concept, me. So can you help me? Can you do something for me? Oh, I need help with this. Would you mind helping me? And it's always me. So I read the book about... So which book it is, I'll put it in the comments. But this was the book about when you go in and you're actually wanting someone else to help you, you've got to like think about what's in it for them. Why would someone give you, their time? So what's in it for them? And if you truly want to ask someone for a favor to help you, what's in it for them to help you? And you could, so that's a book, and I learned how you can rephrase the question. So what impact of you knowing or having or doing this, whatever you want, will impact them in a what way? And when you rephrase it in a good way and you think how this could potentially impact someone that you're asking for a favor, then you're more likely to get what you want. 100%. That's I'm learning this now. It's great, absolutely great. But Wojtek, how are you seeing this?
I mean, that's important bit, because you don't want to. Do you like when people waste your time?
I hate it.
Exactly.
I hate it to the point, like Wojtek, remember when and I feel so bad when I schedule an appointment and something holds me. So I actually, if I had I could like self-harm myself because I waste someone else's time. I feel really bad when I waste. So like we had this appointment scheduled for, a few weeks back, and I was late to this appointment. And so in my business, I've got my personal assistant and I've got virtual assistant, and we're now training the VA on calendar tasks. And this is the moment where, okay, responsibilities, so it was my responsibility, then me, then PA, and now it's like PA with VA need to make sure that all the dates are absolutely aligned, and then just, making sure they know I know. And we are at this stage, and I've lost the control of the diary, and I thought, like, yeah, everything is in hand. I've got two people who are looking after the diary. Wrong. So I was late to our appointment, and I felt so bad. And the message I recorded for you: I'm so sorry. I may have wasted your time. I hate when people do this to me. So, 100%, absolutely hate this.
when you explained it, I was like, yeah, it happens. When you're entrepreneur, when you run your business, the things can happen, and other entrepreneurs understand. And it's the worst thing is when people just forgot about your appointment. They don't even reply. They don't. But kind of establishing that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the. I didn't want actually to mention this today, but
That's fine.
you don't like it. I don't like it, and that's why I always look at how I can improve other people's lives. How can I help? How can I be of service?
Actually, that's a good point, Wojtek. How do you invite someone for a follow-up appointment? How do you do this without, being perceived as the person like, oh, I want something from you. Oh yeah, can I have your address, email, and whatever, your shoe number, and where do you live? So how do you actually, come across as a, I really just would like to talk to you? Is it just as simple as I just said, or is there a method? Is there, or how can you help people who are not, who are introverts? Because these guys, they understand networking. They want to do a network. Well, they don't want to do it networking, but they understand the benefits of it. And introverts, they don't really need help because they're out there doing it. But introverts, they would need some help. And I know because I asked my friend. I tell her, you need to go to this networking event and at least find one person to talk to, and then celebrate the hell out of it. And I know it was a big thing. Such a small thing, but such a big thing. How would you frame, a follow-up meeting with someone? How would you do it? To give us the Wojtek version.
Well, I look at it when I meet new people online and in person.
Yes.
I'm always excited because I'm curious about people. I'm kind of like, oh, who is this person? I would like to know about it, and I look at synergies and I look at things in common. And when I have a good feeling about person, I was like, oh, this is interesting person. I would like to find out more. And so I look at it not from what I can take from it, from this
Yes.
relationship, from this situation, from this meeting. I'm looking at it. How can I be of service? How can I help? How can I improve someone's business life? And it's people kind of like, oh, how do you do it? That people know you, people refer you. It's because I leave positive impact in other people's lives.
Okay, positive impact.
I don't waste people's time. I try to help them, and they know they know basically that I will help in certain situations. So when I do networking and I have follow-up meetings, I basically look at, okay, I would like to find out more about you. I will ask you about origins of your business. And I will look at the future, where you want to be. And when I hear, this simple conversation opens up all the things. And I'm trying to, okay, oh, you mentioned that you're looking for VA. Okay, maybe I can connect you with the VAs I know and basically help you and the other person. Oh, you're looking for this information. Maybe one of the books, one of the articles I've read will be helpful. Like you did. You read the book and you're sharing the main principles of this book. You're gonna put it in. So that's also follow-up. We are sharing stuff in this podcast, and apart from that, you're also sharing your resources, and that's the way to go. And when you help someone, maybe someone will order this book, and you're creating value not just for the author of the book, but for the reader, for yourself, and you're creating social capital around you. You're creating value around your brand.
So, but this is about the value, Wojtek, and sorry to interrupt, but how about if someone feels like they don't have much to offer in a networking conversation.
And that's another subject, because you asked me, what can you do instead of kind of me. So that's
Yeah.
the attitude of being of service, right? When it
Yes.
comes to, okay, so there are many reasons, and usually there is always fear behind certain behaviors.
Okay.
So the same thing, we fear to come on stage and share our knowledge with audience.
Yes.
We have fear of judgment, fear of success, uh, imposter syndrome, fear of other people's opinions, loads of them.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, like, oh, I have nothing that is worthy to share with other people. This could be imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and and it could affect you in many ways. I remember a couple of years ago, I was in the community. I was exploring. All around me were business owners of big businesses, multi-million businesses, uh, and I felt a bit out of place at the beginning. And then,
Okay.
so I had to meditate. I had to work on myself to kind of realize, hey, just relax.
Mm-hmm.
These people are the same like you, and they have their own struggles. Okay, maybe with the businesses they are ahead of you, and just embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Just being with them helps you to grow. You learn a lot, and think about how you can be of service to them.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, get to
Okay.
know them, and this is the way when you realize, because people think like, oh, what can I give to these people? And sometimes what you can give to other people is attention, is listening to them, or not being like others. Because a lot of times, successful CEOs or millionaires, they are being attacked by people around them, around their networks, because they want something from them.
And what
And
in change if they
sometimes,
just want to be listened
or
to?
just to have fun. So
Yeah.
a lot
Okay.
of a lot of clients I got was by literally getting to know them on a personal level. So
Okay.
I would go jogging with them. We would spend time playing basketball or going for a hike. So that's why I organize more kind of relaxed networkings. Group of people, group of entrepreneurs go for a walk together to have fun, to see beautiful place in Spain or in Greece, and they can get to know each other. And then in this relaxed space is probably the best networking. So I say sometimes to people, the, the best networkings are not networking meetings or conferences. They are meetings, casual meetings around
On the
a
personal
spot.
level, with that,
Exactly.
yeah, with that hint of being, personal rather than very official. And another concept is I learned from the book. Is it book wisdom? Is no one knows what you've got to say. No one knows. It's not like the whole world has your script, what you're about to say. Isn't so if you so like you said, a millionaire is being always asked question for, for something, can you help me, whatever, and it's me, as opposed to the person who is who thinks they don't have much to say and or offer. On the other hand, is like they could offer their time and listening, because the other person is like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm good enough, but I've got this knowledge and I'm going to share. And if that person will come and listen to what that person has to say, there'll be match made in heaven, because obviously, oh, like, oh, that guy is interesting. Oh, this is very interesting, and it's just like really, really good. So I think it's more of it like what we expect and perceive by our own measures, we might measure and judge the people before we actually make them make a move. Because if we judge them by our own measure, that's wrong. But actually, that's what we do. So going into a meeting and I'm like, oh, no one's going to listen to me because I don't think I'm good enough to actually share what I know. And with that approach, I could create this field of energy around me and it will not attract a lot of people. So you mentioned staying positive, and I agree with it.
Exactly, because it's also about vibration. So if your vibration around your energy around you is, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not sure if I'm going to offer something, people can sense it, especially
Mm,
experienced people. So if you want to be entrepreneur, you need to
yes.
behave like entrepreneur. You need to have certain type of confidence around you. If you want to
Mm,
be around millionaires, you need to behave like one. You need to have certain vibration around you to be at the right level, because this is our unique way as humans to sense vibration of other people, the energy. And
mm.
it's something primal we used to have, and a lot of people forgot about it. But we still have it. We could call it sixth sense, or something else, but we have it. And
Absolutely.
we just don't listen to it, we don't use it. So it's important to and it's part of it is, uh, a lot of people are laughing at it. Oh, make it, fake it until you make it, or but there is something around. Before you can become someone, you need to feel it. You need to become one before you actually are one.
Mm,
So we,
good one.
so and then that was something like, you want to be entrepreneur, you need to feel, you need to behave, all in your being. I'm an entrepreneur, and it's your mind, your energy. You are like a shining light, and people can sense it. And when you are there, people kind of like, oh, he's one of us. He's one
Well,
of us.
yeah,
And this way they will accept you.
and there is that concept, like you say, fake it until you make it. But actually, on the other hand, is let's turn this the completely way around. So do it the right, well, do it the right way. And what is the right way? The right way is like, if you want to be a doctor, you can't fake it. You have to. Unfortunately, you've got to go through all the medical study, everything, spend all these years, train. You can't trial and error. Well, I think they do with medications and everything, but that's a completely different subject. But you can't be joking around people's bodies and lives if you're working as a surgeon. So that's right. But on the other hand, is as a coach, as a person, a trainer, or or someone, you can go and make it. You go for a training, start educating yourself, and at certain time you need to make a decision on trying what you've learned, going out there, make it happen. You might feel that you're not fully qualified. You might feel that you might feel an imposter syndrome. But actually, by doing it, you get experience, and by doing it, you learn as you do. And because of that experience, it gives you the confidence and gives you immense amount of learning that you learn from your mistakes. You can't do this as a doctor, but if anything else in pretty much most of the other jobs, when you train other people, you can actually do that. And yes, so I would suggest that you're right. Suggest people,
And
and you
this
are
is great
right.
example. This is great example, because like, the same way you wouldn't say that you're a doctor
Yeah.
before you become one,
Yes.
but you behave like one. So, for example, when you have the when the doctors embrace the philosophy of not harming people, doing everything to secure, to preserve life, to help people. This is what when you want to become a doctor, you are embracing everything around it. And the same way, when you want to be a millionaire, you're not saying, I'm a millionaire. I'm embracing everything to a lifestyle, the knowledge and everything, the philosophy of entrepreneur, of future millionaire. You're living it right now, and you are in your journey. So that's why this is, and then when people hear it like, oh, the vibration of becoming of millionaires, vibration of this, of that. Yes, because you have so many doctors, so many lawyers who have all the papers in the world. They have 10 years of experience or 15 years of experience, and they don't believe in themselves. You can smell, you can sense that they're not sure about them. They have, deep down, they have imposter syndrome killing them, killing their career, because they feel that they're not good enough, because they know that there are other doctors who are better, who are more experienced. Of course there are. That's part of life. There's no one is perfect. There's no one at the top. We are all in our journeys. And sometimes people are behind us, sometimes people are ahead of us. That's part of life. But you can embrace everything. So when you walk into the room, people sense that, oh, this is powerful person.
Absolutely.
And they're curious, who is this guy? Oh, I want to. And if you come with different energy to the room, so if you want to, so that's why you want to be a property investor. You walk into the room full of investors, and you're looking for ones. If you go into that room and you don't have the right vibration, energy, you don't have the right mindset, people will sense that, and they were like, no, would you invest with someone who's not confident, who's not secure about himself or herself? Of course not.
You just reminded me about something that fits into it, and tell me if it does. There is this movie, it's called King's Speech, and the King's Speech is about the king, is stuttering, and so he wants to go on the stage and deliver the speech. His brother is absolutely killing at it, but he's not the good character in this movie. So, and I remember there was one scene when the main character, he was like listening to an audio recording, because they didn't have a tape. It was, back in the past. He's listening to an Adolf Hitler recording, and he's like, he's commenting on it. I don't understand what he's saying, but he's saying it rather well. So he was just describing a delivery of his. Actually, it was the video recording, because we know that Adolf Hitler, he used to use body language and all of that. So when he delivered a speech, he would deliver the speech, and well, the history just proves that he was able to convince millions of people to do what he wanted to do, and he was successful. So I'm not saying that he is the best person to learn from, but it just shows that when you have this, skill and you mastered it, it's definitely worth investing into speaking and how you speak. But
listen, it's like with knife, because when people say to me, Wojtek, but for example, NLP, neuro linguistic programming, a lot of people kind of like, they kind of like, oh, this is this NLP or coaching bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you say that? Oh, because they're manipulating people. Okay, right. So sales is manipulating people, right? Huh? Yes or no? And it's as if with everything. You have it's like knife. With knife, you
Hmm.
can cut bread, and you can also harm people. So, so basically, these are all the tools we have in our life. We can learn how to use them, and it's up to us how we can use them, for what purpose. But it's better to have all these tools in the world, learn how to use them for our purpose.
Hmm.
If it's good, then you're gonna help people. If it's bad, well, then it may turn bad for you at some point.
Well, absolutely. Well, NLP actually. So help someone become a more effective networker. Can you just share a practical example of how it has, influenced your approach to build connection? How does understanding of the NLP, can help someone become more effective networker?
100% can help, because if you can, because like a lot of people say to me, "Oh, Wojtek," but because I used to organize regular networking workshops,
Mm.
and one of the things I learned from my mentors was the simple question structure during conversation. And a lot of people are like, "Wojtek, but this is manipulation." I was like, "Really? Is it?" And the whole thing is about, you start with a bit of icebreaker, small talk, to
Yes.
to ease, to find the things in common. Then you ask about the present. So it would be question kind of like, so what brought you here? So um, is it part of your job, or is it part of your career to be here? Oh, I'm a lawyer. I'm here to find potential collaborations, partnerships. Okay, okay. So how long have you been a lawyer? What made, or the other question could be, so what made you to become a lawyer, if you don't mind me asking? And then the person is like, oh, I always wanted to help people, da 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 da. And then it's like, so knowing that it's been a year since you graduated law school, you're now fully graduate lawyer. So what do you want to be with your career? So you have question about present, about past, and then question about future. And and it's magic, because all of a sudden you find out so much about people,
Hmm.
about what's driven them to become a lawyer or entrepreneur or whatever they're doing now. And then knowing where they want to be, it's exploring opportunities to find out more about where they want to be. And you kind of figure like, oh, actually, I can help this person. He wants to be there, and I know people who can help him. Even I cannot help, or I can share something, some insight, some article, something that will help them. And it's someone could say, oh, this is manipulation. No, this is, I'm using this as a weapon to help people, to be of service, and this way they remember me, and they know, then they will reciprocate. In many cases they will ask me, what do I do? They
Hmm.
will ask me what I'm looking for, and I made this impression, this impact, so they will remember me far better, and they will remember what I need, what I'm looking for.
I want to change the subject now, if you don't mind. But Wojtek, a lot of
No
people
problem.
know you, and a lot of people know that you are the LinkedIn guru. Why LinkedIn?
And it's because it's also a networking platform. This is
Hmm.
another place where you can build relationships. And for me, LinkedIn is important because back in the days, initially started building relationship in person, and I became a great networker,
Yes.
confident, helping people. Then I started using social media, and it was Facebook. So I started developing my brand on Facebook, sharing content, videos, everything, doing live streams, and that was predominantly, it was popular with Polish community in the UK. And then there was a time when I was like, okay, it's time to share my knowledge, not just with Polish people, but with British people, with English-speaking audience in the UK. And I realized that number one professional platform for entrepreneurs, for professionals like lawyers, accountants, property, financial advisors, was LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I said, okay, it's time for me to embrace LinkedIn. So I developed strong profile. I started sharing content. I started networking. I learned everything about LinkedIn. Everything I could. Spending hundreds, if not thousands of hours learning about LinkedIn algorithm and everything to become top expert. So, when I started getting clients, business from LinkedIn, people were coming to me like before, were coming like, Wojtek, you got this business from networking. Can you teach us? So I was sharing how to do networking. When I explored LinkedIn and I started getting success on LinkedIn, people were coming to me, Wojtek, teach me how to use LinkedIn. Okay, no problem. And that's how another part of the hat. But what was connected was like you develop strong personal brand, memory hook around what you do. And I was helping people get new clients. Initially, it was through networking. Then I added LinkedIn. And then I added other social media platforms like TikTok. So,
Okay.
and so now actually, a lot of business is coming from networking, from LinkedIn, and now from TikTok. And it's partly, and it was the same thing. Like I spent so much time to learn about LinkedIn, to become a thought leader on LinkedIn, and the same thing this year was all about learning how to use TikTok. My partner, Justyna, she's a top LinkedIn expert, top TikTok expert. She spends a lot of time on TikTok. So I was learning from her. So this year, I took massive leap from doing videos Facebook style or YouTube style to starting doing TikTok short form videos.
Okay.
And it's not from April this year, I've been recording at least 2 videos a day.
Wow, that's big. Okay.
That's a lot of practice. And that's how you become.
Do you go live, or do you record and put through your all the marketing, or how do you do it?
I do it. I have this, and this is secret.
This is secret, ladies and gentlemen.
I take this thing, I open it. Oh, there you go. And I record. I press the button record, and I start making videos.
So you're going live, basically.
No, it's not live. It's recorded.
Okay.
It's recorded.
Okay.
So and then you post it on TikTok, and it's every master was once a disaster. And if you saw my first short form videos, that was absolute disaster. And Justyna, she was giving me a lot of feedback. She was slating me, kind of like, there is no way I'm putting this on TikTok. It's not gonna work.
I befriend you. We're not family. We're no longer partners. Just don't do it.
This is old Wojtek. If you want to succeed on TikTok,
yeah,
you need to change. You need to adapt. And it's again. And so this year was once again, I put myself in the position of a student, even though for many years I was teaching people how to be confident in front of a camera, to do live streams on Facebook, on YouTube. And yet again, I became a student to learn something new.
Yeah, we'll all become students ever.
So that's why lifelong learning is so important, because the moment you stop learning, you're stagnating. and you
100%.
don't move forward. So now,
100%.
It's not. I know much more about TikTok. Maybe I'm not top expert like Justyna, but we run business together. So when we help clients on TikTok,
You can help them.
I can help them because I know much more about confidence presentation in front of camera. Justyna knows everything about the algorithm and everything, and this way we can help people get millions of views. And if you ask me at the beginning of this year that we're gonna have millions of views on TikTok, I would say, me? Seriously? You're joking. And there you go.
Okay, good point. Well done to you. Congratulations for that. But then, tell me, how long does it take you to, to create one reel?
For real?
Yeah. Is it 2 hours?
No.
No.
If I have,
because the reels are about what 60, 90 seconds.
Yeah, I usually I love like something between 30 and 1 minute, 30 seconds and 1 minute.
Exactly, that's a good content because obviously we know people concentrate. Focus span is very short and it's getting really shorter, and we've got this. What you call the swiping, and people like these, the era of swipers. Yes,
it's value per second. Value per second.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So to be honest, I haven't done like this type of video like we're doing now, which is the long form content.
Yes.
I haven't done it for a while because last 12 months I've been focusing on short form content, 1 minute videos. And this is again in my mind kind of like I need to give people value. First 7 seconds are the most important. So you need to think about the hook, how to grab people's attention online.
Interesting.
How to give value, how to give a bit of entertainment.
So this is one-on-one training with Wojtek Kolodziejczak. The first 7 seconds are very important for your short reel. Wojtek, what do you need to make sure your reel is consisting of if you want to if you wanted to succeed on your social platform? Go.
Well, first of all, you need to be sure about your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your targeted audience? Where they are and where they want to be. So what kind of problem do they have? How you can solve the problem? And then you're sharing value, you're sharing solution, you're sharing your insight. And it's the same thing, being of service to your targeted community. And when you do that, sometimes this is value, like on TikTok, sometimes it's entertainment, sometimes it's education, sometimes it's inspiration. And sometimes
give us a little bit more. Give us something. Give us your recipe for the first 7 seconds to make sure that someone's gonna do rather than.
I will give you an example because like with my partner Justyna, we are doing slow traveling. So we have our own slow traveling video blog on TikTok where we share.
Oh, is it me or is it Wojtek? Have we lost the connection temporarily? So, as Wojtek just mentioned, he's slow. Sorry, got you. So, as Wojtek just mentioned, he's slow traveling, and the reception just got slower. But we're back.
Exactly.
Explain what is the slow traveling?
Oh well, it's basically it's not traditional touristic traveling where you go for week holidays to hotel. It's basically you spend a bit more time in one country. So like we did sometime in a couple of months in Spain, in France, in Italy. We've been hopping from island to island in Greece in the last year. And so you have time to explore the culture, everything about the country. How do they live?
So how long you spend in one place, roughly on average?
So, on average, it's about 4 to 6 months.
So Wojtek is on holiday for 4 to 6 months, and then he goes on to another holiday resort for another 4 to 6 months. Yes.
Yeah,
that's the life by design.
It's amazing when you can become a digital nomad, where you can work from everywhere. And
Nice. Yes.
going back to your question about the recipe for the video.
Please do.
I had this idea about because I wanted in one of the videos I wanted to explain to people philotimo, which is something, the word that you cannot translate from Greek. It's something about kindness. It's something about the Greek people are. So if you are struggling, if you have a problem, Greek people will help you. They are very genuine about it.
Mhm.
And I remember when I had a scooter accident, and I broke. I thought I broke my elbow.
Yeah,
So
it's supposed to be our live podcast, but it didn't happen.
exactly, that's it. That's it. So
I remember.
and I was amazed that when we came back from hospital, we went to the restaurant, and I felt my elbow was still painful, and
Ouch.
the restaurant owner brought me an ice patch with a band so I could put it on my elbow, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" He he didn't have to do this.
No, he
He
didn't, but he
didn't have
did.
to do it. And every single time in Greece, we came across a lot of lovely people, hospitable Greek, who will help you if they see you struggling. So I wanted to record a video about it. So I wanted to share this story with the restaurant owner. But
Uh-huh.
but then I thought, okay, how do I make people to stop and watch this video? So I came up with first 7 seconds with a hook.
Go on.
When you could see me a bit looking angry, and I started like, we need to talk about Greek people. It's and then in the second sentence I started laughing. We need to talk about Greek people, and then I said something like, it's unreal. So when people started watching the video, they thought I'm gonna start slating Greek people. So it was like a breaking the pattern. So people on social media, they like drama. They like fight. So people assumed that I'm going to slate. So I'm gonna check now. I think last time I checked, this video had over 300,000 views.
Okay. While you're checking, I try to do your approach. So, networking, the horrible way to never be successful if you do it wrong. so, this was my first take of trying. But
you can start. Like, we need to talk about Wojtek.
Yeah.
This guy is up to no good.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Wojtek.
One of the best testimonial I recorded for Adrian, my personal trainer, was like, I need to warn you about Adrian. And again, people, that's one of the hooks. There are many others.
Man, of course. Finally, someone who's going to tell us the real truth about Adrian.
Exactly. And people are like, oh, yeah, let's hear this.
Let's watch this. Let's watch this. It's good. So,
the shit will hit the fun.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the true story of Wojtek Kolodziejczak.
Yes.
Wojtek, I want to talk to you about the myths in networking. So, can you tell us about any a common networking myths that you think are actually does more harm than good, and why?
I mean, the biggest myth is like people when you hear networking, people think about conferences, networking events, and they think that this is it.
Mm-hmm.
This is collecting business cards. This is just exchanging contacts, and they forget about main thing. That networking is all about. It's network, working. So you work on your network. You build relationships, network of connections of people. So when you actually think about the word, and then they got it, the people, they get it wrong, and they have certain stereotype around it. So when you flip the script, and you think about, oh, it's all about building relationships. It's not about selling here and now, because people hate it. People do it on LinkedIn. They connect and they send pitch straight away. Oh, I'm selling this. I don't care. I don't know you. And it's the same like when you go to conferences. Someone like, oh, I have this service. It's not going to work because people don't know you. And you need to get to know someone, like, trust, and then comes buy. There comes friendship. There comes collaborations. There comes.
But surely that must be taking a lot of time to get to know everyone that you chat on LinkedIn.
And this is the thing. It is time, and that's why you should do networking all the time, all your life.
Okay.
If you think like, oh, I'm gonna do networking today
between 3 and 3:30,
I'm like, what about the rest of your life? That's why I called my business life networker, because life is all about networking. If you want to have great people in your life, it's networking. It's networking.
Absolutely.
And if you look at other areas in your life, how much does it take to become a master at your job? How much time does it take to learn this, to learn that? How much time did it take you to learn, do the podcast? To be confident, to become confident speaker. How much did it take you to learn speak English the way you do, Greg? It's not just one day. The same thing is networking.
Well, I still learn, actually.
Well, that's it. We all do. We all do, my friend, right? So when you actually think about networking, that it's a lifelong learning, a lifelong developing relationship, that in life, not just in business and career, you need 3 types of people in your life. People who are at the same level as you are. Like, for example, we are. We can become friends. We can have fun. We can inspire each other. And we have people a couple of steps behind you who can learn from you, who can get that inspiration as well. And there are people who are ahead of you. And this is where you can learn from them. You can grow. So that's why it's so important to have these 3 different types of people in your life, in order to progress, in order to grow. And it's lifelong. And it's and you do develop relationship, you do networking before you need all of these connections. Sometimes you may never need them, but you have established relationships. And I have so many times I have calls from old friends, from people from school, and they say to me, "Oh, Wojtek, oh, well done, mate, you're doing so great with this networking. You know what? It took me 10 years to realize that I need to do networking, and I need to find a job. Can you help me?" Okay. Take me through. What do you need? Oh, I got sacked. I need to find the job ASAP. And I said, well, if you want the job right now, networking is not going to help you. But hey, you tell people on social media everywhere that they can find job thanks to networking. Yes, but not right now. Sometimes you can, if you're lucky.
Yeah, but it's not like
develop relationship before you need them, so they
it's
can
not
get
an
to know
instant
you, they can trust
result.
you. Exactly, and people want instant results, instant gratification, and they don't hone, and that's the way. If you learn to networking, to embrace it as a lifelong learning, as a constant thing, then you will have better relations, you will have better friends, better clients, and you will feel better because you will grow you will be like a amazing fish in a beautiful pond with great environment, so you can grow and you can feel great. That's what it's all about.
Well, that's beautiful put. Thank you, Wojtek, and thank you everyone for lasting this long with us today. And is there, Wojtek, is there any final tips you could share with the people, or actually equally the same? If you have any questions for Wojtek, please leave them in the comments, and we will get back to you, and we'll put you in contact with Wojtek. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. It's brilliant.
Hats off.
Hats off, my friend. Oh yeah, I'm so I'm so happy that you could join us today. Thank you so much. And Wojtek, any last thoughts for our networking people out there who watch and listen to this?
I mean, there were so many things. Last important thing, again, going back to start helping, start sharing value, and you can start now. So by sharing this podcast, by commenting, by sharing with the people that you care about, you help them, you help Greg, because it's his channel. He took his energy, his time to share this stuff with you.
We'd love you to leave a like.
It's no brainer. It's no brainer to help.
Thank you, Wojtek. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone. And yes, equally, if you did enjoy the content today, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and such a motivating guests like Wojtek today. Wojtek, once again, thank you so much for today's. And ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of today's podcast. I welcome you to join us next week on equally important topic, which we'll cover in depth. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day. See ya. Bye-bye.